What's up, YouTube? In today's video, we're going to talk about the build-out progress in our 2022 Chevy Colorado, specifically the things that I like and the mods that haven't quite worked out well. If you've seen some of our previous videos, you know that one of the goals for this build is to keep it under Chevy's gross vehicle weight rating, so we're also going to weigh the truck to see what the current mods have done to the overall curb weight. We swapped out the first tonneau cover we had on the truck for a Retrax 1 XR with the T-slot rails, then added an all-aluminum up-top overland mid-height rack. And we did cover this in a previous video, but I added some NFAB RKR rocker rails for some somewhat lightweight, medium-grade rocker protection. I did want to figure out a way to augment the electrical system to help power accessories without adding a secondary battery, just because of the extra weight that brings. So I had the kid help me wash and prep the hood, and we added a Cascadia 4x4 hood-mounted solar panel. These Cascadia panels mount to the hood with adhesives and come with a charge controller that was very easy to wire and install, at least on this truck. Now, if you own a Colorado or Canyon and you go to the Cascadia website, you'll see that they don't offer a hood panel specific to our trucks. I just cross-referenced photos, took a guess, and ordered the panel that they sell for the Subaru Crosstrek and the G-Wagon, and I think it actually matches this hood fairly well. We've had the solar panel on the truck for about the last 4,000 miles without any issues, and it gives me a little extra peace of mind when it comes to powering certain accessories overnight, specifically our Iceco JP30 electric fridge. And while I didn't get a ton of video of the process, I ended up fabricating a custom bracket that would fit down into the recessed channels of the bed that would allow me to mount a Ironman 4x4 fridge slide. Once bolted together, the fridge slide and the bracket are a single unit. I ended up drilling holes in the bed of the truck and installed some rib nuts. And with those rib nuts and the 4 mounting bolts, the entire unit can quickly be bolted in and removed when I need the entire bed of the truck available for other purposes. I also wired up an ARB power socket in the bed adjacent to where the fridge slide mounts, and I gotta be honest, this is one of my favorite mods on the truck so far. We ran that fridge for about 2 weeks straight while we were on a road trip out to Colorado. Never once had to worry about finding ice for a cooler. Now, as far as suspension goes, I added Bilsteins to all 4 corners. I also added some Colorado ZR2 diesel springs to the front end, which have an extra coil, a slightly higher spring rate, and that resulted in about 3/4 of an inch of lift in the front of the truck. In the rear, I installed some Colorado and Canyon specific Old Man Emu medium duty leaf spring packs, and they are just not cutting it. In this shot, the truck's parked outside of an Area 51 roadside tourist trap gift store, and you can see it's got a bit of a Carolina squat to it with the weight of the rack and the tent and a full loadout of camp gear. The rear's sitting an inch to an inch and a half lower than it does from the factory. That's a problem. I got to figure out how to redo this rear suspension so that it carries and manages more weight better than it does now. Now, before we get to the weigh-in part of this video, it's probably important for me to note that I installed a nearly full set of Asphere 4x4 aluminum skids. I think that's going to add about 90 pounds to my total weight. So I'm headed to our local cat scale. This look on my face is probably just me expecting worst-case scenario news once I get the scale report. To get something of a proper weight rating, I need to stop and top off the diesel tank, since the factory's curb weight includes all fluids topped off. In this case, our DEF tank isn't full, but it's close enough for me. As we reported in a previous video, the factory curb weight for this truck is 4,655 pounds, and I'm pretty sure that's without the factory tow package, since that's technically an accessory we added. In addition to the mods and accessories we've also talked about, I added a Line-X spray and bed liner. We've got a metal locking storage cabinet under the rear seat. In addition to the aluminum skids underneath, we've added some 589 Fab shock skids. In addition to the tonneau cover, the mid-height bed rack, the Roofnest Condor tent, we've also added some Yokohama ATXs and an LT 265/70 R17. As you can probably guess, those are quite a bit heavier than the tire that came on this truck from the factory. I've pulled all the gear out of the bed since I don't normally drive around with that. The only thing that remains is a water port mounting bracket located just above the passenger fender well. Starting with that curb weight of 4,655 pounds, we could attempt to do some rough math based on the accessories and mods I've covered so far.
We started with 5 and 5, 10. I mean a 1.
But I think it's easier to see what the scale actually says. If you want, pause the video, take a guess as to what you think our adjusted curb weight is, put that weight in the comment section below, and hit play, and let's see how close you actually got. If you guessed 5,320 pounds, you would be spot on. This is honestly a little bit heavier than I thought it would be, just based on my own rough math. The gross vehicle weight rating for this truck is 6,100 pounds, which means we've got about 780 pounds to play with. But when you throw in a driver and passengers and gear, that 780 pounds is going to disappear pretty quick. So I guess the short version of this video is that we're still underweight. We've done a few things that we like, but this truck is very much still a work in progress. We've got some things coming for the truck that might be hinted at in future videos. Till then, thanks for watching Trash Panda Garage, and as always, get out there, build something.
Well, there's 6, and this represents 7.